Chair Griffin, we are now live. Chair Griffin, we are now live. Chair Griffin, we are now live. Chair Griffin, we are now live.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Griffin, Chair, and I would like to welcome you to the March African American Heritage Commission.
Hold on just a minute, Chair Griffin. I'm not sure what happened. Hold on just a second. Just a minute, Chair Griffin. I'm not sure what happened. Hold on just a second. Chair Griffin, I'm not sure what happened. We are live. Sorry for the problem.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Griffin, Chair, and I would like to welcome you to the March 10th, 2022 African American Heritage Commission virtual meeting. We will now call our meeting to order. The City County African American Heritage Commission consists of 9 members. 3 of those members are appointed by the Asheville City Council, 3 are appointed by Buncombe County Board of Commissioners, and 3 are appointed by 6 appointed members. The commission is to advise the City Council and County Commissioners about the preservation, interpretation, and promotion of African American arts, history, and culture. All committee members and staff are participating virtually. We appreciate your patience as we work through committee meetings a bit differently. We are streaming live on our virtual engagement hub, which is accessible through the virtual engagement hub link on the front page of the city website and also linked on the committee page. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone by dialing 855-925-2801 and entering meeting code 9409. For those of you who plan to speak during our live public comment today, you will need to hit *3 to be put in the speaker queue. I will go through and introduce all the committee members and staff who are participating virtually. For our committee members, please make sure to mute your microphone if you are not speaking. When you have a question or would like to speak, click raise hand, and when you're recognized by the chair, unmute your microphone. Please remember to mute your phone after you are done speaking. Committee members, as I call your name, please say a quick hello. Michael Hayes. Good evening. Beverly Miller. Okay. Catherine Mitchell.
Hello. Glad to see you.
Good to see you as well. Brendon Oliver.
Hello.
Stephen J. Blunt. Beverly Miller. And then again, Stephen J. Blunt. Okay, we'd like to welcome Ashley Wilberding, appointed on March 8, 2022 by City Council. Ashley Wilberding.
Hi, glad to be here.
Hi. Okay, so we have Brendon Mills, the Director of Equity and Inclusion, the City of Asheville.
Good afternoon.
Leonard Jones, Community Engagement Specialist, Buncombe County.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sandra Kilgore, City Council Liaison.
Good evening.
To start committee agenda items, please note for the public. That's for me. To help our audience follow along, I'll state each section of the agenda aloud. Again, I ask committee members to click raise hand and be recognized to speak. Please state your name each time you comment, just as a reminder that the public is listening on the phone, and this keeps them up to date on the order of the meeting and who is commenting or speaking. First, we'll have approval minutes for January the 10th, 2022, and February the 10th for 2022. There's an action needed to be approved for the minutes.
This is staff liaison Brendon Mills. Just a reminder, we'll need two motions. We need to approve each minute with a motion and a second. So if we could have a motion, that'd be great.
I'll make a motion to approve the December?
January.
The January. I'll make a motion to approve the January minutes.
I second that motion.
And I'll make a motion to approve February 10th, 2022.
Hold up. You need to call for any comments and then ask, and then do a roll call vote. Remember, you have to do everything verbal.
Okay. Any comments? Okay. Michael Hayes?
Yay.
Beverly Miller? Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Brendon Oliver?
Yay.
Stephen J. Blunt? Aaron Griffin? Yay. Ashley Wilberding? Well, you.
Yay.
Okay, now we have the approval for the February 10th, 2022.
I make a motion to approve the February minutes.
Second, Catherine Mitchell.
Okay, Michael Hayes?
Yay.
Beverly Miller?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Brendon Oliver?
Yay.
Stephen J. Blunt? Ashley Wilberding?
Yay.
Aaron Griffin? Yay. Okay, now we have staff updates. City Liaison Brendon Mills.
Good afternoon, everyone. Staff liaison Brendon Mills, Director of Equity and Inclusion for the City of Asheville. Just got a couple of things I wanted to update you all on. Number one, we made it over the goal line. We approved our neighborhood reps for reparations, and the City Council approved their 5 impact focus area representatives on Tuesday. Big milestone. Thank you, City Council. And that was a unanimous yay. And of course, yours truly was in the back clapping and being all inappropriate. But next Tuesday at the Board of Commissioners, they will approve their 5 impact focus areas representatives. And I think they are also they're going ahead and picking their 2 alternates. And then our City Council will pick, once they are done with their voting, they will pick 2 more alternates for impact focus areas. And then I think we've had 3 or 4 alternates for the neighborhoods. So that's a good milestone. After this, we're going to start the onboarding process, which includes, there's been a guide created for the Community Reparations Commission on their duties and roles and things of that nature. We're also going to be talking to them about, conflict of interest, how the commission will run. Once they meet, they will vote on a chair and a vice chair. Our legal staff, city and county, will be working with them talking about making of the reparations, what's legal, what may have challenges. Also going to be doing some level setting and baseline setting with what is racial equity and what is reparations, because everybody's got a definition of that. So very excited about that, and hopefully, if all goes well, they'll start meeting in April, first part of April. And then the second thing is to remind this committee in particular that we have been looking at a restructuring of the advisory boards only for the city of Asheville. There's one more session for tomorrow from 9 to 11. I recognize that's during the day. If you go to the project page for the restructuring, all of the videos, all of the presentations and notes from past workshops is there. Your chair will be talking a little bit about this today, but I think to have a full conversation, all of you need to look at the full presentation, the questions and the information that was set up so that you can have a better discussion about that. Just reminding you, we are still fully staffed. I think you saw the press release that went out. Looking at some internal meet and greets, we've been doing that. We will be working specifically in our African American community, and then also doing something in April that is in person, so we can invite the whole city to come out and meet and greet the equity staff. So those are my updates. Thank you.
Thank you. County Liaison Leonard Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leonard Jones, County Liaison. A few of the updates that I have in terms of some of the Buncombe County's engagement is that we just want to remind community that the tax department will be out at local libraries around the county. A lot of the information for the dates and detail can be found at engage.buncombecounty.org. But throughout the month of March, the county will have one-on-one. They'll be out having a community help desk. So it'll be one-on-one service on helps on the appeal process with your taxes. Also, you just have questions around your home taxes and appraisals, and just find out if you need help to start like a payment plan. So we just really want to get that out into the community, as well as there's a current survey going around. The state of North Carolina has about $1 billion that they're trying to divvy up around broadband for affordable and fast broadband. And so we're really strongly encouraging community to take part in it. It's about a 5-minute survey, and some of that, how they divvy that up is based on participation in that survey. And so that's another thing that you can find on engage.buncombecounty.org is that quick survey. So a 5-minute survey. So we probably want to encourage community to take part of that. And also Buncombe County is still in the 2-year phase of working on their comprehensive plan, which is looking at 20 years, just development, growth, and just communities concerned on how the county should look 20 years from now. And so on this 2-year drafting this plan, and so starting in March, we will be starting to go back to some in-person meetings out in community. So we strongly encourage community to take part in those opportunities that they help draft this plan around a 20-year comprehensive plan for Buncombe County. And other than that, that's my updates from the county.
Thank you. City Council Liaison Sandra Kilgore.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Kilgore, and of course, Ms. Mills covered the hot topic, the Reparations Committee, but we're happy to get that moving. People are really concerned, and I'm looking forward to the committee actually coming up with some great ideas that can start moving this ball forward. Also, basically, the Forest Council, we're still working on, we have about 70 applicants for the ARP money that we have available. We'll have a retreat later this month, and we'll be able to sort of get closer to narrowing down the participants, or the ones that we choose for the money. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I mean, it's not a lot of money to divide between all the great applicants that put forward the applications, so we greatly appreciate that. Another thing, after City Council approved the Avery development, it's going to be on the corner of Patton Avenue and Clayman. That particular development will be apartments for downtown area, 187 units. Out of those 187 units, it looks like 18 will be affordable. So those of you who would like to maybe live downtown or whatever, keep an eye on that project, and when it opens up, and try to get one of those affordable units, because I think that's something we need to shoot for. We need to actually utilize these affordable units, that when they do come up, make sure that we're in that pipeline for that. Basically, other than that, we had a light night at council, and so that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have unfinished business, retreat planning and discussion is first. Brenda, do you want to lead this? Or no?
Sure, we can do it together. We do it together. Yeah. So we looked at a couple of dates, for an Aaron, Chair Griffin, just ignore my dates, on your script. We looked at two dates, which was May 21st and June the 4th. We just need to decide which of those dates would work best for you. These are Saturdays. We're looking at about a 10 to 2 time frame. And also, Chair Griffin, you had asked about Joseph Fox. He is available for either of those dates. So Joseph Fox of Fox Consulting will be facilitating your retreat for those days, for one of those dates. So what is your pleasure for a date? Chair Griffin, I think Miss Catherine.
Let's see.
Okay. I'm not sure that we are prepared or ready for a retreat without a full discussion of the commission's existence. And so unless the retreat addresses that issue, I'm not sure that we have very much to move forward on.
Yes, ma'am.
Under those circumstances.
Well, if you will allow me, so the board restructure, the next step would be a pilot proposal. So there are no changes to boards happening that I know of before the end of the year. And even if we do the pilot, is successful, not successful, we're calling for people. Number one, I was going to mention that we're calling for people to sit on a working group. And even if it's decided to do anything, it wouldn't be happening in 30 days for every board. So you still are in existence. You still have time to do some work this year. We've got some ideas down for some things for you to work on in the interim. But I believe the pilot program is intended to go through September. So you've got some time to do some stuff between now and next year. Does that help?
Yes, thanks for the clarification.
Yes, ma'am. So May 21 and June 4 are your dates. Does anybody have a preference? Are you available both? Anybody have any kind of conflict on those dates? If you want to quickly check your calendar. I know we don't have everybody here, but fortunately, majority rules.
I'm open for both. Aaron Griffin, open for both.
Michael Hayes here. I'm open for both, just to make that point clear. But Ms. Mills, you said that there's some things that you all will be working on. When you say you all, who specifically is you all for us to be?
Sorry, with your chair and your vice chair.
Okay.
I wouldn't be talking to anybody else other than your chair and your vice chair. Sorry. We met about a week and a half ago, so. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My preference is May 21.
Does May 21 work with everybody? Is there any concerns? Okay, May 21 it is. So Chair Griffin, there's some ideas that we talked about. What we can do is talk a bit about the ideas that we have here. You can make a decision about what those things are now, or we can finish that discussion in April before your retreat. So we have this meeting and next meeting to decide on a final agenda. You want to go over those, Chair Griffin?
1 second.
And all of those are listed on your agenda. So while the chair is looking for some material, you have a pretty good work plan that you created in 2019. I'm thinking that the facilitator could help you work through that work plan with these tentative presentations and discussions and planning in place. So you would take your work plan, look at some objectives under those work plans, and you would put dates to those objectives. So you know you can't do everything in a year, but you could look at things that you want to do over this next year. Is that 1 or 2 projects? And then talk about what you would want to do in the next 2 to 3 years and on out. We're looking at presentations from the North Carolina African American Heritage Commission. There's a local staff person. You also have a local staff for the North Carolina Cultural and Natural Resources. Those folks help with history and heritage as well. The Historic Resources Commission, which is a board of the city, how you might be able to collaborate with them and the things that they're doing. The North Carolina Preservation Society of Asheville and Buncombe County, which Ms. Catherine has had a lot of work with in terms of her projects, and then the Public Art and Cultural Commission. And those are just short presentations around what they do, what kind of things they have coming up for the future. You would listen to those first, and then work on your, take your annual report, what you said you might be working on, and look at your work plan for 2019 and update it. That sound like a way to go, or is there any other suggestions?
I think it's 27, Chair Griffin speaking. 2017, the commission was talking about a inequality in the justice project, a marker. I think it was centered around Jamestown, but Ms. Mitchell probably can speak more about that project. I think that's something that we also can accomplish as well.
Yes, I agree. We had arrived at a point where we began discussing the location, the appropriate location for the marker. And I had suggested that this would be appropriate for replacement of Vance Monument. And so that is an item that is still alive. I need to ask Brenda, is there a separate group or commission or committee considering what should replace Vance Monument?
There is. We are working with the county on a visioning process for Peck Square in that area. So they will be coming to the African American Heritage, Historic Resources. We're bringing it all in, but we have an RFP out. We've just gotten 3 responses. I'm voting on those 3 responses today, and there will be a visioning plan put together that you all will help us with as a community in doing outreach for that.
Okay, thank you.
And then you do have funding. I'm just going to remind you do have $9,500 if you are interested in putting all or part of that as part of that project, depending on what we end up doing. Now, what we're doing now is just the visioning, not a project. So that no money is being spent except to hire someone to do the visioning. And then after that point, I guess we'll be looking at the community for some ideas.
Okay. Does that include, well, the original amount that we were looking at was full $10,000.
I'm not sure why you spent 500, but we can make it 10. It's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
All right, so May 21 works for everybody. If you would like, I'm not as versed in the RFP and that process as I am in some other stuff. If you would like part of the presentation for May 21 to be a discussion around that visioning process, I'd be glad to invite staff to do that. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Yes, that sounds good. Also, could we also add the discussion around our mission? We want to clarify that. We want to, be real specific about our mission.
Your mission, and I'm going to let our council liaison weigh on this, is given to you by city council.
Okay.
So that's not changeable unless you go back to council and the board of commissioners to ask that to be changed.
Okay.
Yes, and that's what I told them. I've actually had spoken to a few people about making that change because I felt it was necessary, because I felt that as far as African American heritage, there's only so much you can do, but you can't really affect what's going on now in the city. And I would like to see a mission statement where you more or less can actually become a part of the things that that we take part in. And hopefully, like I would like to ask Brenda, because I know I've spoken with you, Aaron, earlier. Brenda, do you see that if this new commission board that they're putting together, would that give more access to the African Americans as far as being a part of everything?
You're talking about the new board structure?
Board structure. Do you vision that as being something that we actually can impact change in the community, as opposed to just an African heritage board? I mean,
so I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you what I'm going to talk a little bit about what you have now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about where we think we might go, right?
Okay.
Right now, do you have access for African Americans with your board structure?
I don't think as far as the thing is, the mission statement basically deals with the history, the heritage of the Black community. And for me, I would think that a better process to be able to affect a change would actually have a situation where the African American Commission is sort of the liaison to the council, or sort of bring ideas to the council of what's important to the Black community, to issues of concern. And that's the way I think it would be more effective in today's life, as opposed to dealing with the history. History's good, but we have issues now that we need to address, that I think that we need to sort of, as a group, to present to council. Does that make sense?
Well, let me read something. So this is your mission from the website. This is number 2. Develop a plan to identify, create, encourage, promote, and implement projects that will recognize, increase, and expand the awareness of the contributions of African Americans throughout the city and county. And create plans to identify and recognize sites in the community that are significant to African American history, encourage and promote economic activity related to African American community, and promote other projects that are consistent with the goals of the commission. Do you feel like that limits you? I guess maybe I'm not understanding. I mean, you're not boxed in to do history. You can do future projects. Like, for example, the project that was worked on by Pat to do African Americans in public art. You can support things like that.
Okay, and the thing is, maybe the reason, maybe I'm confused, because the only activity I've ever seen the African American Commission do is deal with that type of historic history.
You don't have, you're not limited to that.
I'm saying they're not limited, okay.
No, ma'am.
So we don't have to change the mission.
Yeah, but we will look at it at your retreat. Let's do that, because we want to make sure that all 9 of you, we will have 9 soon, are okay with what the mission says, what it intends to do. Because each of us gets on and we're like, oh, well, that doesn't, keep you from doing anything. And honestly, the reason why I suggested all the other boards is that we do need to collaborate with other boards, because you cannot do this by yourself. You can't fund things by yourself. I mean, equity can always look at funding for things that you have coming up. We have some funding, but not a lot. But we can start to fund for these things if you have projects that are coming up that we're going to need, money for and ask council for. But I do think it's okay to look at your mission, which is what the facilitator had planned to do, and make sure you guys are good with it. If there's any adjustments, then we'll make those adjustments, and then our city council liaison can champion those for us.
And the thing is, I was just listening to what you were saying, Brenda, you're right. So the misconnect has been that the commissions don't cross, which means that it would make sense that you all would be in touch with housing commission, so that way you could let them know what the needs are of the community. You see what I mean?
Right.
So that type of thing. So basically, this new board is going to cross-reference all of these boards where it can actually, they'll be sort of communicating with each other.
And you're talking about the new restructure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yes, I'm just trying to figure out a way so we can see, because when we spoke earlier and they were talking about maybe phasing out the African American Commission.
They were talking about phasing out all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and that was what Aaron was concerned about, was phase it out, really what happens to our voice in the long run, depending on,
Right, exactly.
And he was, go ahead.
Now, what I would like for you to understand, and this is why I'm going to send an email. I'm sending lots of emails, so you'll probably be one of 50. You need to go, and all of you need to look. If you can't come in the morning at 9, then all the videos, all the notes, all the feedback that's been given about the restructure is on the project page now. Just look before we started the meeting. Everything is there. You are being asked for a statement around how you feel about it. One of our council people seems to think someone's in favor of it. I hadn't talked to any of you except our chair and vice chair. And there are concerns on every board about phasing. You're taking 20 boards and you're going down to 4. Do most of you know the general idea? We're going to be using the 4 major themes from the Living Asheville Comprehensive Plan. And then the idea is that you would report up to a city council committee, which is 3 city council people, as opposed to your one marvelous city council liaison who has been on board with you since the beginning. And then you would, so say for instance, you want to do a project around African American history or African American anything, you would become a work group. I would still be a liaison on whatever the board, wherever my folks end up going, HRCA or whoever, and then you would just become a work group. What work groups do, folks, is that it tells people they can work on something for 3 to 6 months and get off. You're not tied to a board for 2 or 3 years, and you can work at whatever time is convenient for you, not having to be here every month, second Thursday, 4:30. So that's the general gist of it, but you're going to need to read all of it, and then really next month, let's have a comprehensive discussion around your ideas. And there's a survey on there. Give as much feedback as you can. There's also a working group. If 1 or 2 of you want to serve on that working group, I don't think there's a limit to that working group. So I think there's a value to being a part of that. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking. But I'll put something together around an agenda. For like your retreat, I'll work with the facilitator, if that's okay, Chair Griffin. I'll share it with you and the vice chair, and then we'll bring that back. We'll send that out about a week out before your next meeting for you to kind of respond to. Does that work for everybody? All right. I thought we got Stephen back. Did he leave again?
Yeah, I think
She may be having some connection problems. Yeah, so good discussion. Anything else that, as a resource that I may not have thought about? If you don't think of it tonight, that's totally fine. If you want to send information, make sure to send it to me and the full board so that, we have that to kind of look at, and then we'll get going. Leonard thinks that the 200 College Street, which is across the street from City Hall, is available. So we're planning on having it there. We'll confirm all of that with you in the next couple of days.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our retreat is going to, excuse me, Michael Hayes, you said our retreat is going to be downtown?
Yes, sir. The 200 College Street, big conference room. Yeah. And I'll have breakfast stuff. We'll bring in lunch, have like a working lunch for about a half an hour, and then get you out of there by 2. And we'll make sure we can validate any parking for you when you come.
Thank you.
East Asheville Library is another option.
If it does.
It's a new facility in East Asheville, around Hall Creek, and so that's an option as well for the 21st. So,
but we'll finalize and let you guys know. All right, Chair Griffin.
All right. Next on our agenda is new business. The chair and the vice chair met with our liaisons for the city and county to discuss the boards and commissions restructure pilot project and a retreat for the African American Heritage Commission. We were asked by staff to consider a change to the board meeting frequency from monthly to every other month, allowing time for committees or projects that come from the upcoming retreat time to work prior to each meeting. We are agreeable to that change and are open to hearing your feedback or suggestions. Any feedback or suggestions as far as the changing of the meetings? No? Well,
Chairman Griffin, I'm sorry. Could you say that last part, please? I missed it. My son was begging for money. You know how I go.
Yeah, we are agreeable to that change and are open to hearing your feedback or suggestions as far as changing monthly to every other month. Since then, I like to comment. Since then, I thought about what we're up against and what we're racing against. I really believe that we should keep it the way we are, and when needed, we can do special meetings to sort of try to fill in. I think we need to press the gas instead of letting off. So that's my take on it now. Any suggestions, comments, feedbacks?
This is Brendon Holder. I was just going to say, it's the first time Commissioner Hayes has used the raise his hand button. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for recognizing that, Mr. Oliver. I appreciate that. Chairman Griffin, I think it's imperative that we continue to meet. Like you said, there's issues that we're facing. We come through the pandemic. We have new members. So I think like us meeting every other month, it takes away momentum. Right now, I feel there's momentum. There's pressing issues. There's things we need to discuss. I think we have a strong team. And I would prefer for us to continue to meet monthly. I know we get busy. I know we get tied up. Like even Mr. Blunt here, maybe connections. But I think us showing up and really showing how powerful this commission is, understanding what we can do, and getting to it. I think we need to meet monthly. And then if we need to call special meetings, let's call special meetings as well. But I think right now we have momentum, man. Look who's here, So I think we need to continue to move that way, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Catherine?
I agree that we have a lot of work to do, and I would prefer to continue our process as is.
Brendon?
Commissioner,
Brandon, if you're talking, you on mute. My fault, I didn't raise my hand.
I'm sorry. That was Carl. That was a quick kickback, wasn't it? I was gonna say I agree with what's being said. I'm down to continue meeting monthly, and I was gonna ask Councilwoman Kilgore or Brenda if there's been any talk about resuming in person, because I think that will help out a lot with every board, but especially this one. I need y'all's energy.
I'm gonna say a couple of things. It is your pleasure whether you meet monthly or every other month or quarterly. We just need you to show up. When we're having meetings and we don't have quorum to even approve minutes, that is not okay. That means you're not getting work done. So the chair and the vice chair, myself and the liaison, want to work to make sure we know where people are. What I'm also going to suggest is you get a little tougher on attendance. So if you've had people this year who have not attended 75%, you can suggest, especially if they've had life changes and they can't make it, that they come off the board and you have more people to replace those people. No offense to anybody, but when you agree to come on a board, this board meets the second Thursday of every month at 4:30. If that time doesn't work or you need something different, let us know. Always, you need to RSVP if you cannot attend. You are allowed to have excused absences. But it is imperative that we have actionable items, not just for the board restructure, just for a monthly meeting. Because why is 2 staff people here if we are and your work is not done at the board meeting? That's what I'm trying to get at. Your work is done in the committees outside, and then you bring a report or an action that you have taken that you need a vote from the committee. So if your board meeting is not for working. That's what your committees are for. So I will leave it at that.
Yeah,
but I'm good with whatever you decide to do.
The good thing about all of this is that to look beyond. First in the past, we didn't have what we have now. We didn't have county liaison. We didn't have a city. At one point, we didn't have a city liaison. We didn't have what we have now. And as far as attendance, I would like to say I have no reason to believe that it's going to turn around like quickly. And so I think moving forward, I think we're going to get a lot of great things done because we do have an all-star team here. We do have that, and we can make some things happen, and we will make it happen. So I'm really looking forward to the future and the work that we're about to do. Yeah, because the attendance thing is not an issue anymore as of today. Any more comments?
Commissioner Hayes is so politely raising his hand.
Oh,
Hey, Brandon, that's like the third time I did it today. That is not the second, bro. Hey, Mr. Chairman Griffin, I just want to say thank you for your encouraging words. We do understand that life happens, and life has been happening since the pandemic has hit. So, I just want to say thank you for your words of encouragement and understanding. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, so your meetings remain monthly. Your retreat meeting will take the place of your May meeting. So we're going to do that, so we don't have to meet twice that month. And I don't think you'll have any business. You can approve your minutes in June for the April meeting if you would like to do that. We don't do any voting at your retreat, so.
Okay. So we're moving on next on the agenda. Brenda, if any members of the public are waiting to comment live.
We have no members waiting to comment.
Okay, so next on the agenda is future agenda items. Any ideas about the retreat planning, the decision of project funds from the city? Someone's got their hand up, and that would be Michael.
Michael Hayes speaking. So I think Ms. Mitchell said it perfectly fine. Said it so well that and we got the explanation that okay, we're going to be in existence if or when there is a change in the boards. With that being said, and with that, you know, we already had ideas. We already had, you know, the Mark idea, great idea. You know, us really letting the community know that we exist. Those opportunities are still there. So even before we get to the retreat, I just still think there's too much of the community that doesn't know about us. There's a good portion that does, but there's a portion that doesn't. And when we say that it's not just about the history of Asheville, the Black history of Asheville, you know, when we say heritage, I think that's very important. For number one, I think it's important that we keep the part about, you know, heritage and history, because without knowing where we come from, how are we going to know where we're going? And I think it's important for us to understand that there's so much of our history that's embedded everywhere in Asheville. And so when we do have this meeting and when we have our retreat and we construct our vision, right? Like, I really want us to think deep. I mean, you know, I know we have city and county liaisons, but, you know, there's land that the city has taken that was, you know, land of Black people. You know what I'm saying? There's county land. So there's so much history in Asheville with our name on it, with African American name on it. So how do we recognize that? How do we honor that? But how do we also gain access to that? How do we develop projects and develop things that we can get access to the things that we lost? Because you know, it's still the same conversation when tourists come in town. Where the Black people at? So how do we develop into a commission that is going to be, you know, I can't, you know, once the plan is in play, you know, I don't know what happens, but right now we still exist, and that's why I say we have momentum. So going into this retreat, before we go into retreat, special meetings, whatever we have to do, I think we need to like really be specific and really be intentional about what we're going to put our energy into, because there's so much we can do.
Oh, question. Now, Brenda, you were talking about the 4 focus areas for this new commission type thing. Share those 4 focus areas with the committee.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm having connection issues, so just in case, hopefully everything comes back on. I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me go to the page for the board restructuring, and I'll call those out to you.
And the reason I was saying that, because it just brought some mind when Michael was talking about
Correct.
basically how, and I'm just saying that way you'll see, and then Mike can come up with the ideas then so it fit in that slot, just to sort of.
Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My internet is crazy. Let me see if I have the presentation here, and I don't have to look. No, I don't think I do. Oh, having internet connections, y'all. Sorry. Hold on just a second. All right, we're back. Am I sharing?
Oh, she's back.
I'm back. Oh dear. Okay, let me let me look at those for So the 4 advisory boards would be equitable community. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me share. I think that'll be easier if you can see it. Can you see my presentation? You have to speak because I can't see you. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're proposing that council committee structures would change. We're keeping housing and community development and planning and economic development, but a new city and a governance. But we're going with 2 new ones: equity and community safety, healthy environment and community. So you would have 5 city council committees. Up under the 20 advisory committees we have now would boil down into equitable community, well-planned community, housing advisory, healthy environment, and livable community. Do you have questions? Is that what you were looking for, Miss Councilman Kilgore?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, because see what Michael was talking about, how do we get access to this land, know about this land and all those. So what you can do is concentrate on those 5, because that's what they're interested in, and put together what like they're interested in, like the housing. Let them know what you want to see, equitable. Let them know what you want to see in those, because those are the categories they're interested in, and that way you'll have an outline to. And then, especially since this is what they said is important to them, because if this is what's important to them, and we're actually directing our concerns to those particular areas, they can't ignore us.
Right, that is correct. Sorry, these connection issues caused. Correct. We're back. Sorry, these connection issues. All right.
Yeah, and I don't see getting rid of the African American heritage the answer, because we can do that with keeping our own identity the way we are and doing what we're doing and still contribute to that. So,
Chairman Griffin, this is Michael Hayes. Ms. Mitchell has her hand up, sir.
Oh, Ms. Mitchell, please.
Yes, as a part of the African American Heritage Trail, we have conducted a treasure trove of historical information that is available to the commission. It is easily accessible and it is detailed. So that resource is available immediately.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
Chair Griffin, I just want to reiterate, we're not getting rid of the African American and Human Relations. We're talking about all advisory boards. So I want y'all to be thinking about, when you write your position out for City Council to review, that you consider reasons why you want to remain a board and not be added to that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And like I said, as far as I know, there will be no changes to boards this year that I know of. All they're doing is a pilot project. So, and I have not volunteered y'all or the Human Relations Commission for that pilot project.
I just feel that, in the wake of the time that we in and all the stuff that we just went through as a city, as a country, I just feel like unity would be a lot better than, if we can unify what we have right now, like what we're doing, everything, the boards unify that right now. And I think we can make a difference with what we have. It's not always getting rid of or dismantle or lessening or whatever, that's not always the best answer. The best answer is to come together and get it done. And that's all of us. And that's my spiel on that. So, thank you.
Okay. You muted.
The next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 14th, 2022, and remains virtual. Check on the city's engagement hub for more directions on how to participate. I will now adjourn the meeting unless any objections. Any objections? No? So adjourn. Thank you.